This week, we're going to start out with some emotional maturity. We are going to build our confidence from the inside out, and we're going to start trusting our own voice. Hi, it's Michelle from Michelle P. Astrology, and this is the energies of the week of Monday, August 3rd to August 9th, 2026. We start the week with the moon and Saturn, both in Aries. Saturn has turned retrograde, and the moon is going to come and conjunct it. Now, this is our emotional maturity that we're going to be working on. So we want to make sure that what we are feeling and what we are building, we are emotionally aligned with. This is Saturn giving us a chance to work on a sustainable foundations for our future. So if we have any things that we don't feel emotionally connected to, we want to course correct. This is once again our Saturn giving us that opportunity to, if we're not emotionally feeling good and it's not done with integrity that matches our emotional well-being, then we want to definitely take a look at that and make the adjustments accordingly. Moving into Tuesday continues the theme. Moon is still in Aries. It comes to a 10th square to Mercury. Now that's going to bring some tension, and it can bring misunderstandings, miscommunications, and maybe a little bit more frustrations than earlier in the day. When we pause before we react to anything, we may not have the whole story. The same day it has a supportive sextile to Mars, which is our action planet. So what this can do is this can improve the communications that we may have misinterpreted, or someone else may have misinterpreted, and it gives a chance to everyone to slow down and listen, because it is an action, and then we can figure out what we're responding to instead of reacting to. And this is going to be way more productive in helping improve relationship communications, or of course with relationships due to it being other people. But it is something to once again practice, because this is the emotional maturity that Saturn is going to be handing us for the next 6 months. We want to make sure that we start practicing now. Coming into midweek, we have the moon come to square Jupiter, and this can amplify emotions. And the moon will be in Taurus, and that is our comforts and our wants and what makes us feel good, and and all the good stuff that we want. But this can be an overcommitting. This can be you can overspending. It can be just too much of anything. This is a quality over quantity, but at the time, our emotions may be feeling that we just want instantaneous gratification, which is always, we may have in hindsight remorse, like a buyer's remorse, or you overcommitted remorse, and so you want to make sure that you keep an eye on that, to with all this amplified energy and the sky as it is. We want to make sure that we are simplifying and we don't need that instantaneous gratification that we feel that's going to bring us that comfort, that joy, because it's not long-lived. What you want to do is try to look to the big picture, what's going to help the next step to build towards the long-term goal. You don't want to do just go buy a handbag that, you put on a credit card and later on be like, oh, it costs 14 times the amount because of the interest. And then you don't realize it. And now that satisfaction turns into more of a regret. Moving more into the week, we have the sun come to trine Saturn in retrograde. So this is a stabilizing aspect, because it's a trine, it's a supportive aspect. And usually the outcomes of trines are usually better than we can anticipate. So this is knowing what you've been working for the past time that Saturn has been in Aries before it's stationed retrograde, and where you need to readjust. That's what the retrograde is going to ask, and any snags that may slow down the progress that you have. You want to be asking yourself, are you building a stable foundation? Is it built with integrity? Or do you have anything that you need to clean up that is not, you haven't been keeping your side of the street clean, and you have things that you're making hard choices that are not beneficial for the hard choices will be beneficial for the future. You have to understand that, Saturn, there's a reason why Saturn is, like I said, a heavy hitter. It knows what it's doing. So it's giving us, there's a point here to say there is something that needs readjustment. There is something that is not happening. And if it doesn't happen, it will be called out. If not, on the world stage, it will be called out in your personal life. So what we want to do for the betterment of our future and our life, our meaningful life, is doing the right things with integrity, making sure that anything that needs to be readjusted or redone, then that's where we start our step-by-step work until 6 months, once Saturn comes out of retrograde and starts to move forward, we have stabilized those foundations with integrity and emotionally, that we are emotionally connected to it, and from where we are now, as the persons we are trying to build ourselves to be better. Coming into Friday and in the weekend, we definitely have upgrades. Venus is moving into Libra, her favorite sign. And this is going to bring more harmony, connection, and some balance into our lives. With healthy relationships, we does require healthy boundaries. You want to make sure we keep an eye on those. And, giving is, and it's going to want us, we want to reconnect with the people that, we've lost contact, or fell out of touch with for the past, beginning of the summer. Summer is, everyone's all over the place. So there may be some reconnections there. And, you want to give your time, your energy, and bring everything together. But don't forget that, giving and receiving it's a two-way street. So you want to make sure you're getting, there's an even give and take there, and not just giving everything away. And we're excited for this, though, for the next few weeks. So enjoy that. And ending up the weekend, we finally have Mercury moving out of Cancer and into Leo. And this is going to give us some confidence behind our voice, which is something we've been a little bit more sensitive, maybe a little bit more quiet. For over the next few weeks, you're going to be encouraged to stop second guessing yourself, or second guessing, what you think and how to communicate that. You're going to feel, that, it's going to clarify your vision for the future, and you'll be able to see a little bit more and feel a little bit more confident with courage, the Lion and Leo, to move forward on things that you may have been second guessing. So, this is a great way to end the weekend, and it's going to be a great week, and I hope you have one of those as well. So I will see you next time. Take care.